I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. It is a new week on the KVJ show. A lot of stuff to get to. Kids going back to school. That is an exciting thing. Us back from San Diego from our trip that we had last week.
We survived.
Yeah, we did. So a lot of big stuff to get to, including Elle King finally giving her true thoughts about her dad, Rob Schneider.
How long have I been telling you that girl's got daddy issues?
Oh, yeah.
I've said it since the jump. Yeah. I knew he was a bad dad, and finally she's able to tell her truth.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's surprised about this.
It's worse than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So we'll get to that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Trip to San Diego was a lot of fun. We went out there on Wednesday. I got there early in the morning. We had an early flight, and then we came back, did the overnight red-eye, got back into South Florida on Saturday. It was good because I needed, I think, every minute just to get my bearings straight and try to get ready.
Are you a red-eye fan? Do you like doing the red-eye?
The reason why I liked it, because I talked to our program director, David, who also went out, and Virginia and I did the overnight. And it was okay. I couldn't sleep on the plane, really, but I got home at early Saturday morning, and I like that. He didn't get home till Saturday night. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's hard. You had all day Saturday to be able to get yourself together, unpack, take a nap, feel like yourself again before you have to come right back into work.
Yeah.
And there's something a little unnerving, I think, flying at nighttime. It's just slightly creepier to me.
At night?
Yes. Is that what a red-eye is? Is it a red-eye?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a little bit creepier at night. I agree with you on that. But if you can sleep on a plane, it's great. I just had too much alcohol in my system. My body was like, nope, no sleep for you.
Yeah. So I need to kind of get on my bearings. So I just chilled on Saturday, and then I slept 12 hours between Saturday and Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, just trying to get it together. But I haven't been sleeping well. I slept terrible when we were in San Diego, and that was my problem. We had an AC that would shut off every 5 minutes, and every time it shut off, it'd wake me up.
Plus, you were there. You had to give a speech. You were there to, you had stuff to do.
There's a lot. You're dealing with a 3-hour time difference, so there's a whole bunch of different things that are going to throw you off. So anyway, people are asking, is Kev sick? No, I'm not sick, but I know anytime I take a flight or break my schedule, it's unfortunate. That's just the way it is with my body. I get it slightly run down, and here comes the bronc.
Can you sleep?
Making a charge.
Did you sleep 12 hours nonstop?
Pretty much. I mean, just a few times. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
I slept like 9 in the hotel in Tallahassee. I don't know. I just found my sleep groove, and I was comfortable, and I was just dead.
9 hours in a row.
9 hours in a row. I was out cold.
Did you wake up at all to piss or pee?
Nope.
That's
did not.
Insane to me that you're able to do
9 hours in a row. It felt so good.
Do you remember having any dreams?
Oh, yeah. I was having the most vivid dreams. It was fun.
That's how you know you're really in it. You have some good dreams.
Gosh, we have such a different style of sleeping.
Not a dragon in any of my dreams.
Yeah.
Nobody tried to murder me.
I wake up on, and there's not an hour that will go by where I don't wake up on some level. So when you tell me, it's very impressive to be able to sleep like that.
It's rough.
You can have it too. You just got to go get to the sleep study. And your list of doctors you have to go see, which I think we figured out was 5 specialists. Sleep study is up there. I mean, orthopedic is 1, of course.
I think we're up to 6 specialists.
We might be up to 6 specialists, Kevin.
She made a list of all of the specialists I need to go to.
Dude, you got a lot, man. That's rough.
And I don't think you had mental health on there.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I didn't skip him. But actually, the mental health one is down low. I think there's so many other pressing concerns before we get to the fact that you have lost your mind. I mean, I think the hip is the most important.
So you're talking about a possible hip replacement.
Yeah, that's what they're telling me.
Okay.
I have to get more MRI. I'm getting MRIs done tomorrow as well.
Okay.
After the show, and I'll have some more updates, I guess.
So the hip is a separate issue from the back?
Yeah, it is. I don't know if they know completely if they're working in tandem together or if it's. But it's all on the same side.
But hopefully the orthopedic can handle like the hip and the back, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one-stop shop kind of a thing.
He can't handle the mental stuff, but I feel like you're going to give a little bit to him.
Oh yeah, no.
Quite a project they got here. Try to put the bird back together.
I'm a fucking psycho.
Yeah, so you got a little patch-up period going down.
Yeah, but look, I'm in my prime. We'll get it back going, and we'll be just as good as
The
we
way
do.
they do it, I mean, I had dinner with my friend Danny, and she had the surgery like 3 days before we went to have dinner, and she was limping, yes, but I mean, 3 days after hip replacement surgery is pretty amazing. Modern medicine is amazing.
Yeah, I think it got to a point where I was getting the pain. Finally got to a point where it was unbearable. It's unbearable for me right now. It feels like a toothache in my leg.
That's terrible.
That's the best way to describe it.
You have all the injuries of being an athlete with none of the accolades.
They made me kind of feel kind of tough.
Yeah.
I could tell they could tell I didn't love the news.
They're like, oh, you've obviously been an athlete.
Well, I go, my age a little young for, it is a little young. But they go, you have an athlete. Like, you're an athlete, you do, athletic things.
Radio.
Yeah. You do.
You are a
Athletic
radio athlete. You might be one of the more physical radio athletes of all time.
It is. It's full contact radio.
Especially, the first 10 years, I wrote it hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Think of all that stupid stuff we did.
I just was doing dumb fuck shit the other day with the gymnastic move. What was that called? What was that move we did?
Oh, the Simone Biles.
The wolf.
The wolf.
Wolf turn.
Turn,
Big
yes.
Wolf turning? What am I doing? It was so fucking
That's
dumb.
low on the scale of things that you've done to hurt yourself.
But did you see it wasn't the right move. I should have done a wolf turn that day.
No.
Okay.
No.
Gonna keep you off the active list, I think, for a while.
I'm on the DL right now. We gotta.
That's it. But I tell you, I don't know if there is a nicer city than San Diego. Amazing climate, really beautiful, a lot of water, and a lot of cool stuff on the water. That's the thing that impressed me.
Their news was on one night. I was listening to the weather girl, and this girl had balls. She was like, oh, it's a little warm and muggy. And I was like, what are you talking about, hooker? It was so nice. It was like 75.
Yeah.
It was a little overcast. It was breezy. I'm like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said normal for them to be about 70, and that's in August. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And then they only drop maybe about 10 degrees in the winter. So it's pretty much that way all the time.
San Diego's a vibe.
I went outside one point during the weekend, and just the way the heat hit my neck, I go, how dare you?
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
It stings. It stings. Yeah, it's rough to be out in.
San Diego is so different.
Yeah.
Did you, is it way different than San Fran?
It's warmer, a little bit warmer. San Fran can get a little bit chilly. In the winter, for instance, San Fran will get 45, 55 degrees, so they get a little bit chillier up in San Francisco. It's 6 hours, well, no, probably about 8 hours north.
Didn't you ever run in San Fran for a little bit?
Yeah, I was in Fresno, so I was in the middle of the state. So for me, I would go north or south. So I was like 4 hours from L.A., and I was like 3 from San Francisco. And then what happened was I wound up getting a weekend shift at a radio station up there in the Bay Area.
Is that when were you Hip Hop Kev then?
Hip Hop Kev, yep.
Say by the way.
That's right.
Man, I'd love to hear some Hip Hop Kev.
Yeah, be unreal. Yeah, I started to remember some stuff, from back in the day.
I wish somebody had tape of Hip Hop Kev.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, just with the stories you told me, and anytime you ever start, especially in something like radio, the first stuff is always, you go back and listen and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe
I know.
That would be fun to listen to.
Yeah, it would be. You'd be like, what are you doing, dude?
I have tapes of my first station.
Did you nail it, or if you went back, you go, holy shit, this is pretty rough?
I haven't listened to them in forever, so I mean, I thought I nailed it, but probably not.
So Virginia and I got out kind of around The area that is down by the convention center, which is right on the water, we hit up that. They've got the Midway, which is a huge battleship from World War II. It's a museum now. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
History Kev was in full effect.
It was nice.
We're walking along the water, and he's giving us a history lesson. I'm like, where's the bar?
Oh, if you have history, Kev, then you must have Complaining Virginia.
Yes. They go hand in hand.
They do.
When one comes out, so does the other. And then after that, we went to Ocean Beach, which is cool, kind of little area that got some interesting locals.
Such a bohemian area. The dirty hippies would frickin' love it.
Okay. Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
It's
it
almost
was
like a Venice Beach look if you go to L.A.
such your vibe.
Everyone's kind of coming off or going into a bender.
Look like it, yeah. A lot of dudes laying on the street. Yeah, what up?
A lot of peaceful dudes, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's just in a mood.
Yeah, we got to Pacific Beach area and did a little bit of bar hopping there. And then we were right there kind of in the gas lamp district on 5th. And so we got to a lot of bars around that area. But aside from that, we didn't have a lot of time to get all the places I wanted to. I wanted to get to Coronado Beach, didn't make it there. I wanted to get to La Jolla, didn't make it there. So in Little Italy, didn't do that either. So hopefully we need to go back to San Diego.
But we did go to a lot of the radio parts of the conference, so I think that was good.
There's a Little Italy in California.
There's a Little Italy right there, not too far from the gas lamp area where we were.
Yeah, so we need to do a little bit more of that. But it was a quick trip back. Didn't have a ton of time. But thank you to Sierra. She's one of our KVJ Nationers and a native San Diegan. So we will get back and maybe we'll do a little KVJ meetup in San Diego next time we have some time.
You guys see a lot of weed shops up there?
Yes.
I did not, actually.
I
Oddly
did.
enough. Yeah, I didn't notice any.
I was walking around a lot.
You noticed them, though, because of when we went out west, and one of the missions was to find a weed shop.
Portland was crazy. It didn't have as money as Portland.
Portland, you can tell, loves weed.
Totally.
Yeah, they were next level. I didn't notice it like that. So, but yeah, it's a recreational state. And, you know, they talk about that when it comes to Florida, like, you legalize, you're going to smell weed everywhere. I think one time I noticed the smell of weed. That was in California.
Yeah, I didn't notice it that much either. One time I saw two homeless guys sharing a joint, and one of them was coughing a lot, and I was like, dude, that sounds like a COVID cough.
That was a COVID joint.
I'm not coming close to find out.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah, you don't want that.
A lot of homeless. I did notice that.
That's how Oregon is, too.
It's a lot of homeless people, but not a lot of panhandlers. I was not approached and asked for money.
When I was out in Oregon, both times, the last couple of times I went out there to see my sister, on the side of the interstate, people are living in tents, and it's weird to see. It almost looks like a doomsday kind of a thing.
I saw a little bit of that at some of the beachy areas, a lot of tents in San Diego.
But off the side of a beach, I can kind of get off the side of a highway. It just looks so bizarre.
Side of a highway is depressing.
It is. It's kind of alarming.
Mm-hmm. Well, today's the first day of school back, and we're talking about the average price to send a kid back to school is like $560 or something like that. And Megan said, she said, I break down my expenses. Clothes were $414, supplies were $100, shoes $50. So yeah, I could see that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get your kid, how many outfits do you get your kid usually? You get at least 5, one per week?
I don't know. I mean, I got Rocco like 2.
Damn.
Yeah,
I think he's going to school today in a shirt from last year on the first day.
Mm-hmm. I remember that being such a freeing, liberating time in my life where I didn't have to. I wanted to dress myself. My mom would buy my clothes, making me go to school looking like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, a lot of parents will do that.
Yeah. Thank God I grew up.
They want you to make a good impression.
Good gosh.
On who? The teacher?
Like, Mom, what the shit? Do you never want me to get laid?
One of the really cool things and the highlights of San Diego, and there was a lot. It was a really solid trip. Had a really good time. But the Foo Fighters show we got to get to. I talked a little bit about getting into that. The Queen accidentally bought tickets for the L.A. show. And so normally she'd be like, that's it, we're not doing it. But she was cool, and we got other tickets.
Does she like the Foo Fighters?
She likes them okay. I mean, we listened to them a little bit. She's not passionate about the rock stuff. But, you know, there was enough songs that she recognized. She's like, okay. I know this. And my daughter knew a few. So I think they were just like, all right, we know that Dad really wants to go.
For the girls, I wish he would have played more of the hits.
Yeah, that was the only thing for me. Look, it started off really strong, but to me, at least for my taste, knowing that you have so many songs you can play, when you start veering off on weird tangents. And how I knew something was up was at one point, my wife's like, is there something going on in the crowd? And sure enough, she's like, why is everybody filing to the exits? And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, because, you see those kind of things, right? I'm like, okay, is there somebody going nuts? Is it about to go down?
Active shooter.
Right. And so I'm observing, trying to figure it out. And then I started listening to the song. I'm like, you know what? They're not playing a song I really am familiar with. And I know pretty much all the Foo Fighter hits. And there was a girl that was standing next to me, and she had the whole set list, apparently. I was like, yeah, they're going into a 3-song pocket of like, what are these 3 songs?
I get it if you're a band or an artist that doesn't have that many hits, but when you are a Billy Joel or a Foo Fighters or an Elton John, you've got nothing but fucking hits. I mean, you've got so many hits.
So many hits.
Well, and there were about maybe 5 or 6 songs left. We were there for 2 hours, and she showed it to me, and they had, of the 5 or 6 songs they had left, only one of them was one I knew. So I was like, yeah, and the Queen and Caitlin were done. So I'm like, yeah, let's go.
It rubs me the wrong way. And I get it. You're sick of playing every song that you've done. I cannot stand when an artist covers someone else's song at a concert. When you are a Foo Fighter or a Billy Joel, or when you've got so many, I don't want to hear you sing a fucking Elvis song. I don't at all.
It's so dumb.
I hate it.
The only way is if it's bonus. If you hit every song that a fan would expect, and then you want to give us that extra, fine. But don't do that in place of.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to shit on my boy Billy, but he covered, I think, a Stone song, and then didn't even do his new song. So you're like, I'd be so bummed out if I.
He didn't do the new song with the video.
No,
that's what happens to me now. When I go, like, I was that way with the Killers. I walked out and I was just, what was in my head was, okay, they had 3 or 4 songs. You had 3 or 4 songs nobody knew, and yet you left off 3 to 4 songs everybody loved. Why?
I've never seen a crowd turn on an artist like they did on Neil Young, because I don't think anyone knew what was going on when I saw him. He's like 4 songs deep, and you go, well, I don't know any of this shit. And then he goes, you start hearing drunk people go, hey, play Old Man. What the fuck? And then he says, this is my new album. It's all political, and we're playing the whole thing. And
what?
Yes. You go, fuck you, Neil Young.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for that.
No.
I came here for the hits. And of course, there's going to be a certain percentage of the audience that is deep Foo Fighters fans, that loves all these deep cuts. But most of the people at the concert want to hear the hits.
Oh, you want to get people up and leaving it the fuck out? We're going to jam real quick. Let's go get some drinks and go poop now.
Yeah, that was it.
It's jamming.
It's a Foo Fighters.
Most of the time, jamming is more self-indulgent for the artists of them just showing off their shit.
It was interesting to see, because there were 2 times in the show where people headed for the exits to go get beers or go to the bathroom.
And pooing.
And to me, that should say something to a band.
Right.
Totally.
You should have people that, if you're doing it, whatever you're doing, 2 to 3, people should be locked in the entire time. It'd be like, hey, if we had bits that we knew that people loved, and I'm leaving a bit out I know people love to do a bit I know they can't stand, and you could see people tuning out, well, I mean, that's what we do in radio. We'd be like, all right, well, play the freaking hits, man.
Like the No Name Movie game. Kevin doesn't want to play it, but he plays it because it's a hit.
That's right.
As soon as a band says, we're going to jam, that's when people are pooping.
Yeah.
The Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
They sounded good, though, and they came out with really good energy. And what was awesome is when you have a stadium of 40,000 people screaming out your songs. It sounded pretty cool. Here's a bit of the show from San Diego. Some of their bigger hits, they did kind of start slow.
Yeah, it does sound like they were kind of doing their own little vibey live kind of thing.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting take on some of the ones they did, and I didn't hate it. Times Like These, for instance, is one of the songs, probably one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs.
It's a good song.
Yeah, and they kind of had the organ and did it slow. Half of the song was slow, and then at the end, they kind of kicked into the fast part,
Grohl was edging you. He didn't want to make you come quite so
You're right.
quick.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, I was very vulgar. I haven't been asleep, man. I'll clean up tomorrow.
It's the hip.
Yeah.
It ain't him. That's his hip talking.
Yeah, but they started off with some of the bangers, too. Yeah, you can tell from the audio I was very far away.
Were you at the hotel?
Sounds like it. It's like I was on the rooftop.
Were
I
you
didn't
on that-
realize it was that faint. My
Were you
goodness.
on that battleship you showed me on that
was-
boring walk of
that was
history?
highly unimpressive.
It kind of sounds like you've recorded it off YouTube, but from
Yeah,
a distance.
right.
Another room.
Yeah, that
I'm going
was-
to go down the hall. You start up the YouTube.
sounded a lot better on my phone. I don't know what happened there.
Kevin didn't go to
Wow.
Foo Fighters concert.
Hey, you didn't go to Foo Fighters. What are you talking about?
That was pretty shitty audio.
No, it was terrible. Wow. Did not realize
I
it
guess
was that bad.
go look at the video. There's video on our social.
But they sound good. There's no denying that they bring it.
Well, and the thing that's awesome, too, is they had the passion. He looks like he really is having a great time out there.
He does. Well, I really like Dave Grohl as a human. I've heard
Yeah.
him in many interviews. He's got a softness. He has a soft side for soft rock music, even though he doesn't. And you can kind of hear it in some of his slower stuff
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Loves
absolutely.
a guy named Andrew Gold that I know no one knows who the fuck I'm talking
Right.
about.
We
but-
know who it is because you've told us his name a lot.
I mean, look,
Andrew Gold this, Andrew Gold that.
it's actually the third time I've brought up Andrew Gold. I need to shut the fuck up.
That's not you. It's the hip.
It's the hip.
It's the hip. Yeah, so it is fun to see that when you have artists do that, and you'll forgive then when they want to go off on their little tangents and play songs that nobody knows.
He's passionate. He's a legitimate lover of music. You can tell he is.
Yeah. Grant had said, did you hear the Fugees canceled their concert at I Think Financial? I think it was supposed to go down over the weekend.
No.
Yeah, they canceled the whole tour.
The Fugees reunion that was supposed to be
Yeah.
like so awesome.
Gone.
I don't think they can get along or something.
I honestly, all the comments, everything I've heard, and people are talking about it, it's her. She apparently is just a nightmare to work with. Just a diva, always shows up late, rude to everybody. Yeah, I mean, it just, I kind of just saw, and I'm not surprised. She has always had that reputation. You would think after maybe 20 years of insignificance that it might humble you a bit, but apparently not. She's still apparently a not very nice person.
I tell you what, if you want to do a little deep dive, a B-side that is good, a song by her called "Tell Him" is a jam.
Okay, she's wildly talented, which is what's terrible. You hate
Tell
to
him
hear
I
it.
ain't singing no more.
Yeah.
Tell him his tickets are worthless.
Tell him I am going to be very difficult to deal with.
Grant had also said, I went to the Loserville concert with Corey Feldman and a bunch of other clowns and Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit.
I wonder if does he say if he had fun or not? Because it's a very odd, kind of goofy, fun tour.
He said it'd be a good $25 ticket off a Groupon. If they
Agreed.
would eliminate all the opening acts and just have Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit come out and play for like a good
Oh,
2.5
so
hour
eliminate
set.
Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
There was a lot of other acts out there, and you could tell that not everyone was feeling it. It's kind of a hodgepodge of just shit.
He said you would have to pay me $100 to go see that shit show again.
Oh.
Yeah, the Corey Feldman, it was kind of a weird vibe. You ever have some? Remember we did cocktails and karaoke at Blue Martini, but it was still so bright out, and we're singing, and because of the atmosphere, how the light was coming in, it didn't have the right vibe of us
Yes.
doing. It almost they almost had to wait. They should have waited 30 minutes before they started playing music. Almost, it was kind of the wrong. I don't know.
It was too bright.
It was
too light.
Exactly. Yeah.
Too weird.
Corey Feldman needs the darkness.
He needs a dark bar. He really does. I don't see him on the stage at I think.
He's getting a kiss right now. He's usually in dark bars.
He's not in the right venue.
He's playing. Well, Limp Bizkit really does great as far as bringing out.
They pull.
They pull fucking numbers, and they sound good.
Yeah.
They got Westport. Like they're all
Yeah,
all
they're
back
legit.
together,
Yeah,
I think.
they have some legit musicians in that band.
And as douchey as I used to think they were, he sounds good. Fred Durst. I know he's not everyone's cup of soda,
You
but
can be douchey and good.
totally. No, and I think he's kind of calmed down a little bit too.
Yeah, maybe. Doesn't have all that testosterone racing through him now.
You remember how douchey he could be.
Totally. And, you know, as guys age,
That's what it
Kevin's
seems like.
right. The testosterone. It's about, like, you know, just being chill and mellow at some point.
Start getting man titties and all. It takes a little sting.
Speaking of douchey, Elle King, the musician, she's very talented. She does a lot of country stuff now. She started off doing alternative. I'm a fan of hers. I really think she's highly talented. She has a very unique, strong voice, and she's got that kind of flexibility. I really loved her alternative music. I mean, she started with X's and O's. It's been played, but she's got 3 to 5 really solid alternative hits, and then she started doing country, and her voice works very well for country.
Yeah, she kind of has Amy Winehouse vibes to me.
Yes.
As far as some of her sound.
Yeah.
A little more like a cowboy Amy.
Yes.
Yeah, that she's got that kind of diversity and could do it. And we'd found that she was Rob Schneider's daughter. And if you don't know the history of the KVJ show, a long, long time ago, maybe 15 plus years, we had a big old studio blowout with Rob Schneider. He came in rootin' and tootin', and he was upset that we were a little delayed in our show, and he let us know about it. It was kind of rude to our interns and then rude to us.
And the snack pack, he's also a dick face to Klepto. And it was back in the day when Klepto would smoke cigarettes, and he just walked up to him and started really kind of going in and lecturing him about, do you believe in God? Why are you smoking? And like dressing him down for no. It was weird energy.
Yeah.
So there was stuff that went on before.
He was just angry. He was an angry little man who came in looking for a fight, and he got one.
And some of those older school SNL guys really do think they are king shit of fuck mouth, and they don't like doing morning radio. They just don't.
He was kind of coming out of the era maybe where, you know, the SNL guys were a little bit bigger than that. The Rob Schneider group, or with Rob Schneider with Adam Sandler and all those guys. They had a really big cast. And now, if you're somebody peeling off of Saturday Night Live, is that something you go around and have big dick energy about?
It does not hold the cachet like it used to.
How many people can name 3 cast members on SNL right now?
They've gone through a rough period in my opinion. And I, by the way, I want to love Saturday Night Live. Since I was a child,
right?
Wicked big time fan.
And they have fluctuating eras, but
even the way, if you watch SNL people do their sketches back in the 90s, every son of a bitch on there memorized. They're not looking at the cue
right.
card.
Yeah.
They're not dialing it in. They're fucking singing for their supper and
delivering.
Yeah. Now you're going, holy shit, guys! I get
I can
that.
see them reading.
Well, they always say, well, we like to change things sometimes on the fly. Well, stop changing shit on the fly because it doesn't. It don't hit like it could hit.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have ebbs and flows.
Their produced stuff is probably their best stuff now. Funny enough, the live, the wrong shit.
Can we call it Saturday Night Produced?
Yeah.
Should be.
We're more into that.
So Elle King, just kind of wondered what the relationship was like. We kind of got the vibe that maybe it wasn't good, but then I did see Rob Schneider on stage with her at one point, but she just went on to a podcast, and a lot of people were sending it to us because she speaks pretty candidly about her relationship with her dad and some of the stuff she had to go through when she was a kid. It doesn't sound like he was really there for her very much.
This is Jelly Roll's wife's podcast.
Okay.
This is Bunny.
Okay. Here's a little bit of what Elle King had to say about her dad.
I was like a really, really heavy child. My dad sent me to fat camp. And then I got in trouble one year because I sprained my ankle and I didn't lose any weight. Very toxic and very silly. I had already started getting tattooed and it was like 108 degrees. So I was having to wear sweaters because my dad was like very anti-tattoos or like any form of self-expression that differed from what he wanted. I disagree with a lot of the things that he says.
Okay.
Believe every word of what she said. There's no way he didn't say dicky things. I can see him so
kind of fat shaming.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
As a kid, didn't want her to express herself.
Yeah, I've heard. Look, the guy's a dick face. He really is. I've seen him and heard him enough, and it sounds like too, if his friends got honest about him, you could tell that they didn't trust him at one point. He would backstab motherfuckers to get ahead.
Wow.
That was his reputation anyway.
Well, here is Elle basically putting the nail in the coffin about whether or not Rob Schneider is a nice dude.
Did Dad ever try to help you?
No. He never helped me. I never wanted his help. He also didn't have a very good reputation. I don't want to be associated with him.
Good reputation as in like working with him? Like he
He's
just
just not nice. But like my dad forgot
It's a
about
safe
every single
space.
birthday. Like I spent my 18th birthday in a summer school, and they brought me cupcakes, and I came home. My dad forgot my birthday.
You're killing my fantasy of Rob.
I'm
here.
so sorry.
It's over.
Yeah.
What a dick.
He forgot his own kid's birthday.
Forgot her birthdays.
Fat shaming.
Not a nice guy, basically, is what she has to say.
He's got anger issues. There's a low level of anger, and maybe because he didn't get to where he thinks he should have gone. He's Adam Sandler's little bitch.
Well, I'm kind of curious now because when that whole fight went down, Rob Schneider went running to Howard Stern and was on Stern's show, and they were trashing us. And then there was another New York show, Opie and Anthony, that oddly had our back and said, no, that dude is a prick.
They've in Opie and Anthony, if you don't know who they were dick faces as well. And the fact that they did have, because they did trash us like 3 other times.
They're my dick
And
faces.
they
But
were,
they
they
were
were
on our
trying to
side.
take, they were trying to take Stern down. So whatever side he's taking, they're taking the opposite side. So I wasn't flattered necessarily that they had our back. They were just, I think, going up against Stern. But
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
But they really blew me. Like they Opie and Anthony had a big segment about, this Jbird's giving it to fucking Rob Schneider. They were really they had my back. It was odd.
But I wonder if you talk to Stern now, how he would feel about that. Because think about it. He's got Rob Schneider on. He's got his back about, how we were the jerks and Rob was not. And now you got his daughter basically talking about what an asshat he is, and he's not a nice guy. And on top of it, Howard Stern's pretty liberal. Rob Schneider is very conservative. And he has been that way now recently. So it'd be interesting to hear Stern's comment. It'd be like, so what do you think of Rob Schneider today? You took this position 15 plus years ago. If Rob came running to you now, do you treat him the same way? Do you get his back? Because there are a lot of people that said what an asshat he is, including his daughter, and listen to all the conservative viewpoints he's had. How do you feel about those?
Well, and let's not, Stern was a dick face too. He wasn't necessarily.
He's softened up like pudding as
totally-
well.
Yeah. Totally
odd
softened
switch.
up.
Yeah. Odd switch. Yeah.
But I mean, back in the day, he went in hard on people.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and I guess we all changed, right?
I guess a year ago, Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider were on with Stern.
Yeah, I think so. I think
That's
Adam.
how he got on there,
Well,
probably because Adam was there.
It's Adam, yeah.
Well, you hear the complete opposite about Adam Sandler.
Right.
Sweetheart, nice, great with the fans. Does it right. My buddy said he saw him in Vegas in a casino wearing a hockey jersey,
Drinking a beer out of a can.
sitting down, talking to people,
Yeah.
being very down to earth and humble.
He just sounds like the opposite of Rod Schneider.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
interesting how they're buds, and maybe I think Adam's just wickedly loyal,
Yes, I do too.
and so I'm.
And Rob probably kisses his ass
Yeah,
and doesn't really mess that up
Well,
when he can't help himself.
I kind of got that vibe that he's one of those people. I know some people even that they're two different people depending upon who they're talking to,
Totally.
and
You see that a lot in the workplace.
yeah, I think Rob might be that way, that he's not going to treat everybody the same.
No.
You see that a lot in entertainment.
A lot.
It's a war. It's a vicious, cutthroat. They talk about SNL and how it was just so cutthroat back in the day that nobody trusted anybody to the point where they fucking
It'd be a
steal your
tough
idea.
environment. Yeah, that'd be a tough environment. So, some people are still saying, like someone in the 772 text in and said, "Yeah, I think it's the same. It's always been. I watched all the episodes. There've, been some good, some bad ones, but
Yeah.
you've kind of always had a little bit of that." Okay.
Yeah. And look, they're kind of like baseball. They always say, baseball's dead. It's the end of baseball.
Yeah.
And it sticks around. I cannot tell how many times have we been hearing it's the end of SNL.
Now, all it takes is for them to find one person that kind of breaks through and becomes a name. They've had, even in the smatterings of a Pete Davidson and Colin Jost and, people like that, like, okay, you can see they've got some ability and they're pretty solid. I think that's what keeps it dragging along.
Honestly, to me, when Kristen Wiig was on there, I thought
She was, that was a
to
great
me,
era.
she's a top
Yeah.
5 SNL cast member of
Will
all time.
Ferrell. I mean, that's, he had a solid era and had, some solid bits that you still remember.
Kristen Wiig can make me belly laugh.
Oh, yeah. She's very good. Very talented. I remember even all the way back in the day, you look at Eddie Murphy's cast, he was really about the only big star.
Him and Joe Piscopo, and I've heard Joe Piscopo tell the story of they both knew going into the meeting that they were keeping them, and they kind of had big dick energy going into this meeting. Yeah, you guys are gonna make it to the next cast, because that was the cast you had. Iron Man, he was on there.
Iron Man.
What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. He was a cast member on that.
Wow.
And that's known as one of the worst seasons
Julie
historically.
Louis-Dreyfus was somewhere in that era,
in
wasn't
that
she?
same time period.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Crazy.
Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo were the breakout stars.
Yeah. Huh. Let me see. Got an email here. Now that the Olympics is all wrapped up, Simone Biles is going on a Gold Over America tour, and she's going to be at the Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise on Friday, October 11th at 7:30 p.m.
Interesting. What's she doing? Is she doing gymnastics or just waving?
Great question. I assume she's just presenting her gold medals, but what kind of show is that? You come out and be like, hey, look at my gold medals, and then you're like, cool. You wave back and you leave.
But, I mean, you're talking about an Olympian champion here, Olympic champion.
No doubt.
Could that be like a TED Talk inspiration type of a thing?
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the show is exactly.
I really want to get my bread talk up and running. I have just such...
Fix your hip first.
You're right. It's a lot of walking.
Priorities.
It's a lot of walking on stage.
Hit first, bread later.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm getting some bread today, though. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Well, we just got rid of one tropical storm, and now it looks like there's another one heading our way.
No.
When I saw it today, they've got it steering up the middle of the Atlantic, so it didn't look
Okay.
like it would be anything right now, and you love to keep seeing that because, yeah, we are right at it right now, where the next month to 3 weeks is going to be insane, where every day it's just, what the heck is going on,
And
man?
you don't want anybody to get these storms, but I would rather see them go up north and turn or do what they got to do or go out to the sea.
But what a real cock tease hurricanes are. They make you wait so long. The tornado is in and out. It's, it happens so quick. Hurricanes almost play mind games. It's so slow and methodical. Mm-hmm. No, I gotta go to bed. Category 5.
You are a tornado.
Category 5 fuckface.
Time to take a nap.
Oh, I'm bringing you home
Yes, thank you.
because you can't walk, you can't drive.
I'm having a low moment, but yeah, we'll get it back.
Okay. All right. Put the bird back together again. All right, y'all have a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.